Welcome, lively later life family. You found your way back to your trusted channel.
It's great to have you with us.
Yes, it really is. We're the place dedicated to, well, uncovering and exploring all these incredible programs, insights, and support. Things designed specifically to enhance your well-being in these golden years.
That's our focus, absolutely, making these years truly lively.
We are truly thrilled to have you here with us for another deep dive.
And today, we're unpacking a topic that is um, absolutely fundamental, really core to maintaining your independence, your vibrant social connections, and truly your overall quality of life as a senior.
Which is?
Transportation and mobility, getting around.
Yes. So crucial.
It's so much more than just, getting from point A to point B. It really is your key to staying engaged, staying active, and feeling fully connected to the world around you.
That sentiment resonates so deeply. I was recently catching up with my dear friend Bob. He lives up in Kelowna, beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia.
A lovely area.
It really is. Now, Bob, he's always been the kind of person who's, well, on the go, active, independent, used to driving everywhere without a second thought.
Right. Many people are used to that freedom.
Exactly. But lately, as his eyesight has changed a bit, he's started to feel increasingly uncomfortable behind the wheel, especially, for those longer stretches or trying to navigate unfamiliar routes.
That makes perfect sense. It could be quite daunting.
He was telling me, he was starting to feel genuinely, well, almost marooned at home, kind of like his vibrant world was shrinking around him.
Oh, that's tough. That feeling of isolation is real.
It is. He was missing his beloved weekly bridge game. He absolutely adores that. And even just the thought of getting to his regular doctor's appointments was becoming a source of, well, real anxiety and stress for him.
That's such a familiar and unfortunately very common narrative we hear from so many seniors. That feeling of a world contracting, where the freedom of movement they once enjoyed just starts to diminish. It can be incredibly isolating.
Exactly. And here's the kicker with Bob. Here's what really got me. He knew about the regular city bus. Of course, everyone knows about the bus.
Sure, the standard public transit.
But he had absolutely no idea about other, more specialized services. Services like Handy Dart, for instance.
Handy Dart, yes.
Which are specifically designed, as you know, to assist people with mobility challenges. Can you imagine the frustration?
Absolutely. Knowing there might be help, but not knowing what or how.
He was inadvertently limiting his entire life, missing out on crucial social things, even healthcare access, simply because he wasn't aware of the benefits and specialized options available right there in his own community to keep him moving and connected. It was, well, frankly, heartbreaking to hear him talk about it, but in a way, it was also a powerful revelation, a wake-up call.
And Bob's experience, as you so aptly put it, is incredibly common. It's not just across British Columbia, but really right across Canada. These concerns surrounding mobility, they can manifest in so many ways, some subtle, some quite profound.
Like what specifically?
Well, it could be the increasing complexity of just figuring out the public transit system. Maybe it feels less intuitive than it once did. Routes change. Schedules aren't always clear.
Right, things aren't always simple.
Or it could be the growing financial worry. Affording frequent taxi fares, especially if you're on a fixed income or budgets are tight. That adds up fast.
Definitely. Taxis aren't cheap.
Or, perhaps most subtly, it's this underlying anxiety about just feeling safe and comfortable when you're out and about, especially if physical limitations are becoming a factor, worrying about steps or crowds or standing for long periods.
That safety aspect is huge.
It really underscores that very real phenomenon where people start to feel their world contracting, their opportunities just diminishing, simply because that ease of movement they once had just isn't there anymore.
So our lively later life family, as you hear Bob's story, I'm curious, does this resonate with you? Have you, or maybe someone you know, faced similar transportation challenges right here in British Columbia?
We'd love to know.
What's been your biggest hurdle when it comes to getting around? Or maybe, conversely, what's one way you found that you absolutely love to get around in BC? Something that makes a real difference in your daily life.
Your tips could help someone else.
Absolutely. We'd genuinely love for you to share your own travel tips or maybe any questions you have down in the comments below this video. Your insights, your experiences, they truly help all of us stay mobile and connected. It really helps build a stronger, lively, later life community.
Well, today our mission is crystal clear. We are here to empower you, to help you keep moving, keep exploring, and to truly unlock new possibilities in your later life.
Unlock those possibilities. I like that.
We firmly believe that embracing a lively later life is fundamentally about having the freedom to go where you want, when you want. That's the core of it.
Freedom and choice.
Exactly. This ensures you can continue to participate fully in your community, pursue your passions, and really truly enjoy all of life's adventures to the fullest. It's about ensuring your journey through these years remains one of discovery and engagement, not restriction.
So think of this deep dive as your essential guide. Your roadmap, maybe.
That's a good way to put it.
We're going to explore some of the often overlooked benefits, those significant discounts, and the incredibly accessible transportation options that are available to seniors specifically right here in British Columbia.
We want you to leave this feeling empowered.
Get ready to empower yourself with the knowledge you need to access convenient and affordable travel solutions that, well, that truly make a difference. Let's get on the go.
Let's do it.
So, if mobility truly is that passport to freedom, as you put it earlier,
It really is, I think.
how do we begin ensuring it remains valid and accessible throughout our later years? Where do we start?
Well, I think one of the most fundamental areas we need to unpack first is why. Why maintaining your mobility is so profoundly important for seniors. Not just as a convenience, but really as a cornerstone of a truly fulfilling life.
Okay, let's break that down. Why does it matter so much?
It's absolutely fundamental to overall well-being on so many interwoven levels. Firstly, there's just plain independence.
Right. Being able to do things yourself?
Precisely. This is that profound ability to independently run your errands, attend your appointments, manage your own personal affairs, all without constant, heavy reliance on others.
Not having to ask for help for every little thing.
Exactly. It's not just about the practicalities like getting a prescription filled or picking up groceries, although those are vital. It's deeply tied to your dignity, to maintaining a sense of control of your daily life.
Control is important.
Imagine the sort of slow erosion of self-esteem that can happen over time if you have to ask for a ride for every single thing, from a routine blood test to simply visiting a friend across town.
It could make you feel like a burden, even if you're not.
That level of sustained dependency can really chip away at one's sense of self-worth and autonomy. It changes how you feel about yourself.
It's true. That freedom to simply get up and go, even for something small or spontaneous, like deciding you want an ice cream, it's something many of us take for granted until it's challenged. It's a core part of feeling capable.
Precisely. And then there's the second huge piece, social connection. This is inextricably linked to mobility. You can't easily connect if you can't easily get there.
Ah, yes. Staying connected.
Being mobile directly enables active participation in your community. It means being able to visit friends and family without, extensive planning or feeling like you're burdening others.
Just popping over for a visit.
Yes. It allows you to attend social gatherings, maybe join clubs or groups at your local community center, volunteer your time, or even just go for coffee with a neighbor. Simple things.
But vital thing.
Absolutely critical for preventing social isolation, which, as we know, is a significant and often devastating health concern for seniors. Loneliness. It can have as much detrimental impact on health as many physical ailments.
That's a powerful statement. As bad as physical problems.
Research increasingly shows this. When you can easily get out and about, your social network stays vibrant and active. And that's a powerful protective factor for both your mental and physical health. It's about maintaining those vital threads that weave you into the fabric of your community.
I've seen firsthand how absolutely vital that social connection is. Watching my own parents and their friends. It's not just about having fun or passing the time. It's about feeling truly valued, feeling part of something bigger, and, well, feeling truly seen.
Beautifully put. And that leads directly to the third point, access to services.
Right, the practical necessities.
Being mobile ensures you can continue to access essential services without undue stress or major logistical hurdles. This means getting to your doctor's appointments, both for routine checkups and preventative care, or reaching specialists when needed. Without easy transport, those appointments can get missed.
Which can have serious consequences down the line.
Absolutely. It's also about being able to get to the grocery store regularly to maintain a healthy and nutritious diet, picking up necessary medications from the pharmacy, and participating in recreational activities, maybe swimming or lawn bowling, or classes, things that keep you physically and mentally engaged.
All the things that contribute to well-being.
Yes. If mobility is limited, even these basic necessities can become monumental obstacles. It can impact not just your comfort, but directly affect your health and overall quality of life. It can turn simple tasks into really overwhelming challenges.
So it's not just about going to the fun places, the social things, but ensuring you can get to the absolute necessities too, without undue strain or relying heavily on others all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, and perhaps most profoundly, it all ties into mental well-being.
Ah, the mind-body connection.
Yes, the freedom to explore, to engage with the world on your own terms, to discover new things, even small things, and to maintain that sense of purpose. It directly contributes to positive mental health.
How so?
Well, when you're able to pursue hobbies independently, maybe visit new places in your town or simply enjoy a walk in a park that you can get to easily, it fosters a vital sense of agency, of accomplishment, and self-efficacy. That feeling of, I can still do this.
Right. Agency, control.
Conversely, losing that mobility can lead to that shrinking world we talked about earlier with Bob's story. And that, sadly, can lead to pervasive feelings of frustration, loneliness, and even, in some cases, clinical depression.
So understanding these mobility solutions isn't just nice to have, it's crucial.
It makes understanding and utilizing mobility solutions paramount for fostering a truly vibrant and fulfilling later life, a life where you maintain control and joy.
It really hammers home why finding these transportation solutions isn't just about logistics, is it? It's about maintaining a robust quality of life, preserving your identity and your place in the world.
If we connect this back to that bigger picture, you really can think of mobility as your passport to freedom.
I like that analogy.
Keeping that passport valid and accessible means you can continue to explore new horizons, connect with the people and places that matter most to you, and truly enjoy all the adventures your lively later life has to offer without those artificial restrictions creeping in.
It's about making sure the journey continues to be one of discovery.
Exactly. Discovery and engagement, not limitation.
That's a powerful image, the passport to freedom. So if we accept that premise, how do we begin ensuring it remains valid? Let's get practical.
Okay.
Well, one of the most accessible and, I imagine, often used avenues for many seniors in British Columbia is the province's expensive public transit system. And thankfully, it comes with a suite of benefits specifically designed for seniors.
That's absolutely right. Public transit is a key piece of the puzzle for many. And it's important to understand the nuances here because things have changed a bit over the years.
How so?
Well, what many seniors might remember as a specific, standalone provincial BC bus pass program, that highly subsidized pass for seniors and people with disabilities.
Yes, I remember that being a big thing.
It was a lifeline for many years. But it's largely been integrated now into the standard senior discounts offered directly by the local transit authorities across the province.
Ah, okay, so it's less one single provincial pass now.
Generally, yes. Instead of looking for one overarching program, you'll typically find reduced fares tailored for seniors within the general fare structures of the various transit systems operating in BC.
And what are those primary transit systems people should know about in British Columbia?
The two main players are TransLink, which serves the very large and bustling Metro Vancouver area, so that covers Vancouver itself, Surrey, Burnaby, Richmond, Coquitlam, North Van, West Van, and so on. A huge region.
Right, the lower mainland.
And then there's BC Transit. They operate in basically all the other communities and regions across the province. Everywhere else, essentially.
So Victoria, Kelowna, Kamloops.
Exactly. Victoria on Vancouver Island, Kelowna in the Okanagan, Nanaimo, Prince George, Kamloops, and numerous other smaller towns, and even some rural areas. BC Transit covers a vast geographical area.
And do both offer senior discounts?
Generally, yes. Both TransLink and most BC Transit systems offer reduced fares for individuals aged 65 and older.
Okay, 65 plus.
Usually. However, and this is a really crucial tip for our listeners, you should always, always check your local transit authority's specific website.
Why is that?
Because the most current and accurate age requirements, the exact discount rates, and even how you access the discount can sometimes vary slightly by region, or they might be subject to changes over time. Things evolve.
Good point. So where do people look?
If you're in Metro Vancouver, you'd go to translink.ca. If you're anywhere else, you'd look for the BC Transit website and find your specific community section. Fare products, too, like monthly passes versus single tickets, will have different senior rates, so check the details for your area.
That's excellent advice. Always check the source for the latest info. Now, speaking of specific services, let's circle back to HandyDart. You mentioned it earlier, and this was the service that truly opened up Bob's world again in Kelowna. It sounds like it could be life-changing for many others.
Oh, HandyDart is indeed a fantastic and truly vital service for those who are eligible. It's quite different from the regular bus system.
How does it work?
It's a door-to-door, shared ride transportation service. It's specifically designed for individuals with physical or cognitive disabilities who, because of those mobility challenges, are unable to use the conventional public transit system, the regular buses, SkyTrain, C-Bus independently. Or maybe they could, but it would be extremely difficult or unsafe for them.
So it offers more personalized help.
Exactly. It provides a much-needed, personalized alternative for those whose physical limitations make navigating standard transit challenging or simply impossible. Think of it as specialized assistance tailored to mobility needs, not just another bus line running on a fixed route.
And its availability, is it just in the big cities like Vancouver or Victoria, or does its reach extend further, like to Kelowna, where Bob lives?
No, thankfully, HandyDart operates in many BC communities, not just the very largest ones. While it's certainly very prominent and widely used in major areas like Metro Vancouver, Victoria, Kelowna, and Nanaimo, it also serves numerous other smaller municipalities and regions across the province. Its reach is actually quite broad, which is wonderful.
That's great news. How does one actually use it? Can you just wait at a stop?
No, that's a key difference. The way it works is that it's a pre-booked service. You absolutely cannot simply flag one down like a taxi or step onto it at a regular bus stop.
Okay, pre-booked. And how do you get approved to book it?
It requires a formal registration process and then an eligibility assessment. This assessment is important because it ensures that the service is truly serving those who genuinely need it most, based on their specific documented mobility limitations. It's not just for general convenience if the regular bus is a bit tricky. It's for those who face significant barriers using conventional transit.
Right, it needs to be targeted to those who truly can't use the regular system. So, for the general senior discounts on the conventional transit, the regular buses and trains, how does one access those? Is it complicated?
For the standard senior discounts on conventional transit, it's usually quite straightforward, thankfully. In most BC transit areas outside of Metro Vancouver, you can often simply show your government-issued photo ID that proves your age, like a driver's license, or your BC services card when you purchase a fare. Or you might present it to the bus operator as you board.
Okay, simple ID check. What about in the TransLink area?
If you're in the TransLink service area in Metro Vancouver, getting a Compass card is definitely the most convenient and usually most cost-effective way to use the system for any regular rider.
The blue tap cards.
That's right. You'll need to get a Compass card and then set it to the senior fare category. You usually do this at the Compass vending machines located at SkyTrain stations and some other hubs, or you might need to call TransLink customer service to get it set up initially.
And once it's set to senior?
Once it's set, you just tap the card on the reader when you enter a station or board a bus and tap off when you exit, and it automatically charges you the correct reduced senior fare. Much easier than fumbling for change. Other BC transit regions will have their own local equivalents, maybe specific fare cards, or just the simple cash payment option where you present your ID.
Got it. So conventional transit is fairly easy with ID or a setup card, but HandyDart, as you said, is more involved.
Yes, for HandyDart, it's a definite process. You'll need to apply through your local transit authority again, that's TransLink and MetroVan, or BC Transit, for your specific community elsewhere. You'll need to complete an application form.
And the assessment.
Right, you'll undergo that eligibility assessment. This typically involves a section of the form being completed by you, detailing your challenges, and another crucial section completed by a healthcare professional, like your doctor or perhaps a physiotherapist, confirming your mobility challenges and why you can't use conventional transit.
So there's medical verification involved.
Yes, absolutely. And it's also important to clarify again, as we touched on, that HandyDart is a scheduled shared ride service. It is not a private taxi that comes immediately when you call.
What does shared ride mean in practice?
It means you'll often be sharing the vehicle with other passengers who are being picked up or dropped off along the general route. And because it's scheduled and shared, there will be specific pickup and drop-off windows, maybe a 20 or 30-minute window, not an exact minute time. So a degree of flexibility from the rider is sometimes required. It operates on efficiency for multiple users.
That distinction between a shared scheduled ride and a private on-demand taxi is really important for managing expectations.
Crucial.
And you have a truly smart tip regarding HandyDart, don't you? Something proactive people can do.
Yes. This is truly a crucial LLL smart tip for every single senior listening, even if you think it doesn't apply to you right now.
Okay, ears open.
Even if you are currently driving, feeling fine, and don't foresee needing HandyDart immediately, I strongly, strongly recommend registering for it before you urgently need it.
Register preemptively. Why is that so important?
Because the application process, which includes getting that eligibility assessment form filled out by your doctor and then processed by the transit authority, well, it can take time, sometimes several weeks, sometimes even a month or two, depending on the demand in your particular area.
Ah, so there can be a backlog.
There can be.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be trying to navigate that process when you're suddenly unable to drive, perhaps after an unexpected fall or surgery, or when your eyesight rapidly declines. That's a stressful time to be dealing with paperwork.
Absolutely the worst time.
Having that pre-approved eligibility already in place provides enormous peace of mind for future mobility needs. Should a time come when driving becomes difficult or impossible, or even if you just have a temporary health setback, you'll already be set up and registered for this vital service.
So you can just start booking trips right away.
Essentially, yes. You avoid the stress and the delay of applying under pressure when you're likely feeling most vulnerable. It's all about proactive planning for your lively later life, ensuring you have a safety net, a fallback option before you're truly stuck. It's like having mobility insurance, in a way.
That's incredibly foresightful advice, really practical. It's so easy to just wait until a crisis hits, but preparing in advance just makes so much sense, reduces future stress.
It really does. A little planning goes a long way.
Okay, let's talk about something else that can be a real burden, sometimes even more than daily errands, especially for those living outside the major urban centers, getting to medical appointments.
Oh, yes. Medical travel. A big one.
It's not just about convenience here. It can be a significant financial and logistical challenge, particularly if you're in a more rural part of BC or if you need specialized medical care that's only available far from your home.
This raises a really important question for many seniors and their families. How do you manage the costs and the sheer logistics of essential medical travel, especially for those crucial specialist appointments that might be hours away?
Is there help available?
Fortunately, yes. There are support systems in place, both federally through the tax system and potentially provincially or regionally, designed to help ease this specific burden.
Okay, let's start with the federal help. What's available there?
On the federal side, the main tool is the Medical Expense Tax Credit, METC. Now, many people know they can claim things like prescriptions or dental work, but what's often overlooked is travel.
Travel for medical reasons can be claimed.
Yes, under certain conditions. If you incur significant travel expenses specifically to get to medical appointments, these costs might be claimable as eligible medical expenses on your federal income tax return.
What's the key insight here that people might miss?
Here's a crucial insight many people miss about this tax credit related to travel. It's not just about the big-ticket items like maybe a flight to Vancouver for a specialist. We often forget to track the smaller, associated costs.
Like what?
Things like parking fees at the hospital or the specialist's office, especially in a larger city where parking can be quite expensive. Or maybe even the cost of tolls or ferry fares, if that's part of your necessary route. Or even sometimes an essential over-the-counter medication you had to buy while away for that distant appointment. These things can quietly add up.
So it pays to be meticulous.
The true insight is in meticulous record keeping, keeping every single receipt related to that medical trip, and understanding how these seemingly minor expenses, when clearly tied to a qualifying medical journey, can collectively make a noticeable difference on your tax return. It's about thinking beyond just the obvious gas or bus fare.
That's a powerful point about those cumulative costs. Okay, so what exactly are the specific criteria? There must be rules about distance or something.
Yes, absolutely. There are specific distance thresholds and conditions set by the Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA.
Yeah.
For instance, generally, you need to travel at least 40 kilometers one way from your home to access medical services that are genuinely not available closer to where you live.
40 kilometers. Okay, that's not an insignificant distance.
No. So if you live in a smaller town and need to see a specialist in the nearest city, and that city is, say, 50 kilometers away, your travel costs could be eligible because that specific service wasn't available locally.
What about even longer trips?
If your necessary medical travel extends even further to over 80 kilometers one way, this potentially opens up eligibility for claiming not just the direct transportation costs, but also associated reasonable accommodation and meal expenses.
Ah, so overnight stays might be covered too.
Potentially, yes, if the distance requirement is met and the stay is necessary for the medical treatment. This is specifically designed to alleviate the significant financial burden for those who must travel considerable distances for necessary health care when equivalent medical services are simply not available in their home community.
That can make a huge difference for people needing ongoing treatment far from home. So, what kinds of specific expenses can actually be claimed under these rules? Is it just gas money if you drive, or does it cover public transport too?
No, it's broader than just gas, thankfully. Eligible expenses can include public transit fares, so bus tickets, train fares, ferry fares if applicable. If you're using your personal vehicle, you can claim mileage based on kilometers driven specifically for that medical trip.
Is there a set rate for mileage?
Yes, the CRA sets a prescribed rate per kilometer each year, so you need to keep a logbook of your kilometers for those trips. It's not just estimating your gas costs.
Okay, logbook for mileage. What else?
And, as I mentioned, for those longer trips over 80 kilometers one way, the reasonable cost of accommodation, like a modest hotel stay, and reasonable meal costs incurred during the necessary travel time can also potentially be included.
Reasonable being the key word there, I imagine.
Exactly. You can't claim luxury suites or gourmet meals, but necessary, reasonable costs. It's all about making sure that the financial strain of reaching crucial medical care doesn't become a barrier to accessing it. But, very important caveat, always consult the official Canada Revenue Agency, CRA guidelines, or talk to a qualified tax professional for the most up-to-date specific rules and how they apply to your situation. Tax rules can be complex.
Absolutely. Good advice to check with the pros. Now, beyond the federal tax credit, you mentioned potential provincial or regional programs within BC. Can you tell us more about those? Do they exist?
Yes, they do exist, although they can be a bit more fragmented and specific. Some of the regional health authorities within British Columbia, or sometimes specific nonprofit organizations, do offer certain health travel assistance programs.
And who are these for?
These are generally for patients who need to access specialized medical care that is confirmed as not being available in their immediate home vicinity. The specifics can vary significantly by health region. Interior health might have something different from island health or northern health.
So you need to check with your local health authority.
Precisely. And they also vary based on the type of medical condition or the specific specialized care required. They aren't usually blanket programs for all travel.
What kind of help might they offer?
The assistance could take different forms. It might include subsidies or partial reimbursement for various travel modes, like necessary flights within the province, ferry travel costs, or sometimes help with accommodation costs in the destination city where the treatment is happening.
Are there any specific examples?
Well, there's the BC Patient Transfer Network. Now, it's primarily focused on coordinating interfacility transfers, moving patients between hospitals or care facilities for acute medical needs.
So hospital to hospital.
Mostly, yes. However, it does have components that can sometimes be relevant to broader patient travel, especially if the transfer is medically necessary and the patient requires medical support during transit. What this means for you, the patient, is if your doctor determines you require specialized care that's only available at a facility far from your home, and importantly, your medical condition prevents you from using regular transportation safely.
Like if you need medical equipment or monitoring during the trip.
Exactly. In those cases, the healthcare system, through mechanisms like the Patient Transfer Network, might facilitate your transfer, even for some non-emergency but medically necessary situations. It's less about you directly calling and booking a ride for a regular appointment, and more about your healthcare provider accessing a system that ensures you get to where you need to be for critical care, often involving medical escorts or specially equipped vehicles if needed.
So it's more integrated into the healthcare delivery system itself.
Yes, it ensures medical continuity during transport when required. It's not typically a service you access directly for a standard specialist visit if you're medically stable enough to travel otherwise. For more localized assistance for those standard trips, it's always worth checking directly with your specific local health authority. Fraser Health, Vancouver Coastal Health, Interior Health, Island Health, Northern Health, or even contacting the social work department at the specific hospital where you need to receive care. They often have the best knowledge of regional programs or available charitable support.
This is truly valuable information. It's almost like these benefits, both the tax credits and the potential regional assistance, are designed to be your health journey companion.
That's a nice way to think about it.
They're there to try and ease that financial and logistical burden of reaching crucial appointments, making sure that your health can remain the top priority without adding overwhelming financial strain on top of everything else.
Absolutely. Now, what's fascinating here, I think, is how These programs, both the federal METC travel provisions and the various provincial regional initiatives, implicitly recognize the systemic barriers that exist in accessing healthcare, especially for people living in remote or rural areas, or those dealing with complex, ongoing medical needs that require specialized centers.
It acknowledges that geography shouldn't dictate access to care.
Exactly. It's not just about providing a service, it's an attempt, at least, to level the playing field a bit, to ensure everyone has a better opportunity to receive the necessary care they need, regardless of their postal code or their financial situation. It demonstrates a commitment, imperfect as it might be in practice sometimes, towards more equitable healthcare access across this large and diverse province.
That perspective adds another layer of importance to knowing about and utilizing these supports.
Definitely. They exist for a reason.
So we've covered quite a bit already: public transit discounts, the fantastic Handy Dart service, and support for medical travel. But what about help that comes from right within the community itself?
Ah, yes. This is huge. So we've talked about significant government programs and tax-based support, but it's incredibly important to remember that assistance often extends far beyond those formal initiatives. There are many fantastic, often unsung, local, community-based programs that provide additional, often very personal and flexible support for seniors' transportation needs.
The grassroots level support.
Exactly. These are often the true heroes of local mobility, filling in the gaps left by the larger systems.
That's such a crucial point. These local programs are frequently the backbone of community support and can make a world of difference, filling those specific local gaps. What kind of services are we talking about here typically? And maybe more importantly, how would someone actually find them?
Okay, a prime example, and one that makes a huge, tangible difference in people's daily lives, is volunteer driving services.
Volunteers giving rides.
Yes. Many nonprofit organizations, local senior centers, which are often hubs for this, and even faith-based organizations like churches or synagogues operate these kinds of programs. They mobilize dedicated, compassionate volunteers from the community.
Local people helping neighbors.
Pretty much. These volunteers offer rides for essential errands. Things like getting to medical appointments, yes, but also crucial things like grocery shopping, or maybe even getting to social outings like a card game, a community lunch, or just visiting a friend.
So it covers both essential needs and social connection.
It often does. This can be a genuine lifeline for individuals who no longer drive, or maybe who have very limited access to public transit because of where they live, or perhaps due to mobility issues that make using the regular bus difficult, even if they don't quite qualify for Handy Dart. And these volunteers, they're often local residents themselves, which fosters a wonderful sense of community connection that goes beyond just the ride itself.
That sounds fantastic. How are these structured financially? Are they completely free, or is there usually some kind of contribution expected?
It varies, but often they are provided for a very, very low fee. Sometimes just enough to cover the volunteer driver's gas expenses, maybe a nominal administrative fee. Or sometimes they operate on a suggested donation basis, where you contribute what you can afford.
So generally very affordable.
The primary goal is almost always accessibility and community support, not generating profit. This makes them incredibly affordable compared to taxis or other commercial options.
Okay, that makes sense. How do you find these gems? Where should people look?
The best starting point is usually your local senior center. They are often at the heart of coordinating these kinds of programs, or at the very least, they'll know who in the community offers them.
Start local.
Definitely. Also, reach out to your local community health services or community resource centers. And those local faith-based organizations, churches, temples, mosques, many have strong outreach programs that include transportation assistance. Sometimes even a quick call to your municipal hall's social services or community services department can point you in the right direction. The key is, don't be afraid to ask. These services exist to help, but they can't help if you don't know about them.
Great advice. Ask around locally. Are there other types of localized community services besides volunteer drivers that might offer transportation?
Yes, certainly. Depending on the community, you might find community shuttle services.
How are these different from regular city buses or Handy Dart?
These are often found in smaller communities that might not have extensive public transit, or sometimes within specific larger neighborhoods and cities. They are distinct from the regular large city buses. They're often smaller vehicles, maybe minibuses.
And who are they for?
They are frequently designed specifically with seniors or individuals with mobility challenges in mind. Their routes are typically much more localized and direct than a sprawling city bus route.
So more targeted routes.
Exactly. Unlike a regular city bus that covers large areas, these community shuttles usually provide fixed routes, often loops that connect key amenities within that specific community or neighborhood. Things like the local shopping center, the library, a specific community hall where programs are held, or maybe a cluster of medical clinics.
Making it easier to get to local necessities.
Precisely. They're tailored to the specific needs and travel patterns of the local senior population, offering a predictable, often more comfortable and less intimidating way to get around familiar local areas.
That sounds like a really practical option for local trips. Now, what about the newer, more tech-driven options? We hear a lot about ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft. Are those relevant in this conversation for seniors in BC? And what should our listeners be aware of if they consider using them?
That's a really good question, and definitely a relevant one, especially in British Columbia's larger urban centers where these services operate.
So places like Vancouver, Victoria, Kelowna.
Yes, increasingly so. Now, it's important to state up front, ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft are not a benefit in the same way as a senior discount or handy dart. They are commercial services.
Right, you pay the standard fare.
Correct.
Yeah.
However, they do offer undeniable on-demand transportation convenience. If you need a ride relatively quickly and you're comfortable with the technology, they can be very useful for getting around.
But there's a but, isn't there?
There is. And this is an important caution, especially for our lively, later life family. Users absolutely need to be very comfortable with using smartphone apps, navigating the interface to order the car, tracking its arrival on the map, communicating with the driver through the app sometimes.
So tech savviness is key.
It really is. And equally important is comfort with the associated payment systems. These are almost always cashless, tied directly to a credit card stored in the app or a digital wallet linked to your smartphone. There's no cash changing hands.
Which might be a barrier for some.
It can be. And perhaps most critically, especially when comparing to services like HandyDart, these standard ride-sharing services generally lack the personalized assistance or specific accessibility features that some seniors require.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the drivers aren't typically trained or equipped to provide significant physical assistance getting in or out of the car. The vehicles usually aren't equipped with wheelchair ramps or lifts. While some platforms are piloting more accessible options in some cities, it's not the standard service.
So if you need help getting from your door to the car or need a ramp, this probably isn't the right choice.
Generally not, no. HandyDart operators receive specific training in assisting passengers with various mobility aids and needs. Rideshare drivers are typically just providing a ride. So it's really about knowing your own needs and comfort level with technology. It's more about general convenience for those who are tech-savvy and don't require specialized physical assistance.
That's a really helpful and clear distinction to make. It's about understanding all the different tools in the transportation toolbox, isn't it? Recognizing their unique pros and cons so you can make an informed choice that genuinely best suits your individual needs and circumstances.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. And this brings me right back to another crucial LL Smart tip for navigating all these options, especially the local ones.
Okay, another tip. Let's hear it.
Connecting with your local senior center or a broader community resource center is highly, highly recommended. Seriously, make that call or drop by.
Why are they so valuable?
Because they are often an absolute goldmine of information when it comes to local transportation options. They know about the volunteer driving services we mentioned, any community shuttles operating nearby, maybe even local taxi saver programs or other unique initiatives specific to your particular town or area in British Columbia.
They have the hyper-local knowledge.
Precisely. These centers are deeply embedded in their communities. They know about every little local initiative, every volunteer service phone number, every specific shuttle route that might not be widely advertised but could make a huge difference in a listener's mobility.
And can they help with navigating the process?
Often, yes. They can usually provide contact information, maybe even have the application forms for certain programs on hand, or sometimes they can offer guidance or even direct help in navigating the initial steps of applying or registering for a service. Don't underestimate the power of that local knowledge and the support offered by these community hubs. They're specifically designed to help you connect and thrive locally. They want to help.
That's such a valuable piece of advice. It really emphasizes that sometimes the very best solutions, the most tailored and personalized ones, are right there in our own backyard. We just might not know where to look or who to ask first. The local senior center seems like the perfect starting point.
It really is often the best first stop.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit now. We've talked extensively about options for people who rely on public transit or specialized services or community support. But for many seniors, maintaining their personal transportation, actually driving their own vehicle, remains incredibly important for their sense of independence and flexibility.
Absolutely. For many, driving represents freedom.
So let's explore the benefits and also the important considerations for those who still drive, or perhaps for those who might be contemplating purchasing a personal vehicle specifically to enhance their mobility as they age.
Indeed. This is a really important area. For those who retain the ability and desire to drive, or who want to maintain that option safely for as long as possible, there's actually quite a lot to consider regarding making personal transportation more accessible and suitable.
Where do we start with that?
Well, one of the primary areas that can make a huge practical difference is vehicle adaptations. These are specialized modifications that can be made to your existing car, or sometimes integrated when purchasing a new vehicle, designed specifically to make it much easier, safer, or more comfortable to operate, or even just to get in and out of.
Okay, adaptations. What kind of things are we talking about here? I imagine it goes beyond just getting a special cushion for the seat. Give us some concrete examples.
Oh, far beyond cushions. These adaptations are often truly ingenious and cater to a really wide range of physical needs. For example, for individuals who might have difficulty using standard foot pedals due to leg weakness, maybe arthritis, or other joint issues.
Yeah.
Well, hand controls can be installed. These allow the driver to manage both acceleration and braking using levers or controls mounted near the steering wheel, operated entirely by hand.
Wow, okay. That opens up driving for people with lower body limitations.
Exactly. And then for those who find getting in and out of the car difficult, maybe due to hip problems, knee replacements, back pain, or just general stiffness.
Which is common for many seniors.
Very common. Power seats that can not only adjust forwards and backwards, up and down, but can actually swivel outwards towards the door opening and sometimes even lower down slightly, can make getting in and out of the car significantly easier. It dramatically reduces the need to twist, bend, or strain.
I can see how that would make a world of difference. What else?
For wheelchair users, there are options like wheelchair lifts or ramps, which can be installed in vans or sometimes larger SUVs. These can be used either to lift an unoccupied wheelchair into the vehicle for transport, or, in more complex conversions, they allow the individual to actually drive the vehicle while seated in their own wheelchair.
That's incredible accessibility.
It really is. And there are even simpler but still very helpful modifications. Things like steering wheel spinner knobs, sometimes called Brody knobs, which allow for easier steering with just one hand, or extended mirrors to improve visibility and reduce blind spots. Even pedal extensions for drivers who are shorter and have trouble comfortably reaching the standard pedals can enhance both comfort and safety.
So, a whole range of possibilities.
Yes, these adaptations are designed to accommodate a wide spectrum of physical needs, simplifying not just the act of driving itself, but the entire process of entering and exiting the vehicle safely and comfortably. They are fundamentally about empowering you to continue driving, if you're able and wish to, in a way that's safe and suits your physical requirements.
That sounds incredibly helpful, but I imagine these kinds of modifications, especially the more complex ones like hand controls or swivel seats, can represent a significant investment.
They certainly can, yes. The costs can vary widely, depending on the type and complexity of the adaptation.
So, are there any financial benefits or, say, tax credits associated with these modifications that could help offset some of that cost?
This is a crucial point regarding the financial aspect, and it ties back somewhat to our earlier discussion on medical expenses. This is where the Federal Disability Tax Credit, DTC, can potentially become relevant again.
Okay, the DTC. Remind us what that is.
The DTC, the Disability Tax Credit, is a non-refundable federal tax credit. It's designed to help reduce the income tax burden for individuals who have a severe and prolonged physical or mental impairment that significantly impacts their basic activities of daily living. Or it can sometimes be claimed by a supporting family member who incurs expenses for them. It covers a wide spectrum of conditions, not just mobility issues.
So, how does the DTC connect to vehicle modifications?
Here's the connection. If you or a loved one for whom you are incurring the expense qualify for this federal disability tax credit based on CRA criteria.
Qualification is key.
Yes, you must be certified by a medical practitioner as eligible for the DTC. And if you require vehicle modifications, specifically for accessibility, because that qualifying disability, then some of the cost of those specific modifications might be eligible to be claimed as a medical expense under the medical expense tax credit, METC, on your federal income tax return.
Ah, so qualifying for DTC might allow modification costs to be claimed under METC.
Potentially, yes. But it's absolutely crucial to understand this is not for the purchase price of the vehicle itself. The tax credit applies specifically to the cost of the medically necessary modifications required to make that vehicle accessible due to a qualifying disability recognized by the DTC.
So you need that medical certification for the DTC and proof the modifications were necessary because of that disability.
Exactly. The link between the qualifying disability and the necessity of the specific adaptation is key for claiming it as a medical expense.
That's a very important distinction. It's for the modifications required due to disability, not just any modification, and certainly not the car itself.
What about other assistance programs? Are there specific provincial programs in BC or maybe charities that help directly with purchasing a new accessible vehicle or even just with funding the modifications themselves?
It's important to set realistic expectations here. Generally speaking, broad assistance programs for the outright purchase of a car for seniors are less common. There isn't typically a general senior car purchase grant program from the government.
Okay, so don't expect help buying the base vehicle.
Usually not, no. However, some specific provincial programs or certain nonprofit organizations might offer targeted financial assistance specifically for medically necessary vehicle modifications. But these are often highly targeted.
Targeted how? They might be linked to specific circumstances, like programs through WorkSafe BC, if a disability resulted from a workplace injury, or they might come from specific charities focused on accessibility for people with certain conditions, for example, organizations supporting people with multiple sclerosis or spinal cord injuries or muscular dystrophy might have equipment or adaptation funds.
So it's condition-specific or situation-specific aid.
Often, yes. It's typically not a general grant available to anyone needing a modification. It's usually a highly targeted aid for necessary adaptations when a specific medical need, often linked to a particular condition or circumstance like an injury, is clearly established. You would really need to research organizations related to your specific medical condition or disability to see if such specialized funding exists.
So a bit more digging required there, depending on the situation. Now, if someone is in the market for a new vehicle, maybe anticipating future needs or just wanting something easier to use now, what should they keep in mind beyond just the possibility of future modifications? What basic vehicle features tend to make a difference for senior drivers?
That's a very good practical question. When you're considering purchasing a new or even a newer used vehicle, I strongly advise researching models that are generally known for ease of entry and exit. This is often a top priority.
What does that look like practically?
Look for cars with larger door openings, doors that swing open wide. Check the seat height, seats that aren't too low to the ground, making it hard to stand up out of them, but also not so high like in some large trucks or SUVs that you feel like you're climbing up into them. A comfortable seat height and a relatively flat door sill can make a huge difference.
Minimize the bending and climbing.
Exactly. Also, critically important is good visibility from the driver's seat. Look for vehicles with large windows, relatively thin roof pillars to minimize blind spots, and maybe features like backup cameras or blind spot monitoring systems.
Seeing clearly all around.
Yes. And consider the accessibility of the controls. Are the buttons and knobs on the dashboard easy to reach without leaning far forward? Are they large enough to see clearly, perhaps with good backlighting? Are they simple and intuitive to manipulate, especially if fine motor dexterity might be a concern? Touchscreens can sometimes be tricky for some people.
Simple, clear controls.
Think about other convenience features too, like a power liftgate for the trunk or hatch, making it easier to load groceries or walkers. Some cars offer automatic parking assist systems, which can reduce stress in tight parking situations.
Lots to consider.
And above all, my best advice is always test drive extensively. Don't just do a quick loop around the block, take it for a proper spin on roads you know. Crucially, practice getting in and out of both the driver's and passenger seats multiple times in a row. Adjust the seats fully. Play with the controls. Imagine doing your daily routine with this vehicle.
Really simulate living with it.
Yes. Comfort, ease of use, and practical everyday accessibility are absolutely key. Don't feel rushed by the salesperson. Take your time. Make sure it truly fits you and your needs now and potentially your anticipated needs down the road.
That's really solid advice. And for anyone who is seriously considering either buying a new vehicle with accessibility specifically in mind or contemplating potentially significant modifications to their current car, You have some truly smart advice on who to consult.
I do, and this is vital for ensuring you not only spend your money wisely, but actually get the right solution for your unique individual needs. It's about getting expert input.
Who should people talk to?
Firstly, for those seriously considering vehicle modifications, hand controls, swivel seats, things like that, I strongly recommend consulting with an occupational therapist, OT, ideally one with experience in driver assessment and rehabilitation.
An OT.
Right.
Why them specifically?
Because OTs are healthcare professionals who are experts in assessing how physical and cognitive abilities impact daily activities, including driving. They can perform a thorough evaluation of your individual needs, your physical capabilities, your range of motion, your strength, your vision, your reaction time.
A really comprehensive assessment.
Yes, and based on that assessment, they can provide truly tailored professional recommendations for the specific adaptations that will genuinely benefit you and, crucially, ensure you can operate the vehicle safely. They make sure the modification actually solves your specific problem and doesn't introduce new risks.
So they help choose the right modification.
Exactly. And they can also often suggest reputable, qualified vehicle modification companies in your area, companies that specialize in accessible vehicle conversions and follow safety standards. This helps you avoid less experienced providers who might not do the work correctly or safely.
That's invaluable guidance. What about the financial side, the tax credits?
Right. For those tax credits related to modifications, claiming them as medical expenses, potentially linked to the DTC, this is where you absolutely need to practice meticulous record keeping. Keep all your receipts for the modifications themselves, invoices, proof of payment. Also keep documentation related to the medical necessity, like the OT assessment report or letters from your doctor confirming the need linked to your disability.
Paper trail is critical.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And because the rules around the disability tax credit and the medical expense tax credit can be complex, it's always wise to consult a qualified tax professional. An accountant or tax advisor can ensure you're claiming everything correctly, help you understand the nuances of eligibility, ensure you have the right supporting documentation, and help you maximize any eligible benefits you're entitled to. Don't try to guess on your tax return with these things.
Get professional advice for both the physical adaptations and the financial claims.
It's all about smart planning and getting the right professional guidance from OTs for the physical needs and from tax pros for the financial side to make these potentially significant investments truly worthwhile and correctly handled.
Excellent points. Professional help is key. Well, there you have it, lively, later life friends. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've taken a truly deep dive, haven't we, into the vital world of transportation and mobility,
We certainly have. It's a big topic with lots of facets.
exploring how you can unlock the benefits and resources available right here in beautiful British Columbia to keep you on the go, active, and truly connected.
And remember, there really is a wealth of assistance out there, all designed with the goal of helping you maintain your independence and continue enjoying life's adventures.
Let's recap some key takeaways.
We talked about the straightforward BC transit discounts for seniors on regular buses and transit. We dove into the incredibly accessible and often life-changing door-to-door service, HandyDart. For those with mobility challenges, remembering that tip to register early.
Yes, the proactive tip.
We covered the potential for federal tax credits through the METC to help offset costs for essential medical travel over those specific distances. And we highlighted the invaluable, often personalized support found right in your own community, the volunteer drivers, the community shuttles.
And finally, the options for personal vehicles, including adaptations and how things like the disability tax credit might play a role in offsetting modification costs.
Every piece of that puzzle is designed to help you stay mobile, stay engaged, and stay in control.
But as we wrap up, I think it's important to reiterate that this isn't just about the nuts and bolts, the logistics of getting from point A to point B, is it?
Not at all. That's just the surface.
It's about something much more profound, much more central to a truly lively later life. It's really about empowering you, our listeners, to participate fully in your community, to continue pursuing your passions and interests, to maintain those essential connections with friends, family, and neighbors, and ultimately to truly embrace a life without unnecessary limits holding you back.
That's the heart of it. Removing barriers to living fully.
So, here's a thought I want to leave you with today. Think about it. What new adventures might open up for you? What new social connections could you make or strengthen? Or maybe, what new opportunities for personal growth, learning, or contribution become possible when mobility is no longer a significant barrier?
It's a powerful question.
When you can move freely, You really can live more fully. That's the potential we hope we've helped you unlock a little today.
If this deep dive has resonated with you, if it's helped you discover maybe even one new way to travel more safely, affordably, or independently, please do give us a thumbs up below. It really helps others find this information.
Yes, please do.
And crucially, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Lively Later Life channel and make sure you hit that notification bell.
Ding,
That
ding.
way you won't miss out on more episodes in our ongoing Unlock Your Benefits series and all the other valuable content we create specifically for you, our wonderful Lively Later Life family. We've got lots more planned.
We'd also absolutely love to keep this conversation going. We learned so much from you. Down in the comments, tell us, what's maybe one transportation tip you'd give to a fellow senior here in DC that you've personally found invaluable?
Or perhaps, what's a local service in your specific community, maybe a volunteer group or a shuttle we didn't name that has made a big positive difference in your personal mobility?
Please share your insights, your experiences, your tips. They could be a wonderful guide, a real encouragement for someone else who's maybe facing similar challenges right now. Let's help each other out.
Absolutely. Community knowledge is powerful. So, till next time we connect,
Stay mobile.
stay connected. And keep embracing your lively later life to the absolute fullest. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.